the biggest problem we have. Now, corruption is something you can avoid, because if you are not corrupt, it's all right, you can be. But immorality is such a thing that if you live in an immoral world, it has effect on everyone. For example, a moral woman is walking on the road and there's a man full of lust and all that looking at her. In any way, she loses her chastity. She doesn't mean to attract him or anything, she doesn't want to lose her chastity. But the way he is looking at her, you see, though her simple methods are there, she may be responsible in a distant way to ruin his chastity, his morality. Even a little child who is a simple innocent child, but if there's a dirty man with a dirty eyes, he can have very dirty feelings for the child. So, though of course that person himself is dirty and all that, we can say that child is not affected, but in a way that becomes an object, a sort of a vastu, as you call it, a thing which makes another person even lower than what he is. Even a ordinary picture which has nothing to do is placed there. Any funny thing which is giving some dirty feelings, because these days I have seen so many symbols have started, I mean, which to my eye I don't even see there is anything wrong with it. That there is to my eyes I can't see, because I am too innocent, my eyes can't see there's anything wrong. But if somebody who is an expert on these things will immediately say, go look at this. I mean, really it is impossible to understand how the human mind has really woven their yarns all around and made these patterns to ruin themselves and ruin others. So, to worship Yogeshwara, we must know that our relationships with everyone in this world has to be pure. He played lots of things in his lifetime. The time when he came, the whole country was absolutely drowned into fanatic ideas about religion. If Freud was there, he would have said, oh, this is all nonsense. See, what's wrong? Go ahead. Krishna did not do that. He wanted to break all the nonsensical shackles of traditions and shackles of false fanaticism. But he did it in a very beautiful manner, keeping the relationship absolutely pure. Now, people ask questions, whether was he married to Radha? You know, he's eternally married to her, doesn't matter. But he actually performed the marriage just the day he was born. He was brought by his father across the river and put down on the bank of the river. When Shri Brahmadeva himself came on this earth, that's why he wears a yellow thing always. As a blessing from Brahmadeva, he covered his lower part, lower than the waist, with a cloth. That's the sign. That's why he always wears the yellow. He himself came, made him into man, and married him to Radha. Then again he became a child, just to appear to be a child. Somebody may appear to be a child. To some of you I appear like 16-year-old girl, as you say. But I am not. Why? I may be, according to counting, might be 60 years of age, but I am not. My age is eternal. I can't say what age is mine. It could be 2-year-old or it could be absolutely ancient. It could be anything. So, in his own life, whatever he did with the purity of understanding. So Radhaji was married to him first. And afterwards, when he came as a child, when he was a child, he did all kinds of pranks and things. It was nothing but Sahaja. It was not sitting like this and seriously telling about things. But with little bit here and there, he tried to improve their chakras and raise their kundalinis. Of course, realization was not possible in a game. You cannot do it. Supposing I just play about with you, you cannot get your realization. Because at the Sahasrara stage, you have to completely recognize. It has to be a game of serenity. Of course, you can just raise your hand and give realization to them. But you have to bring them to serene level. If you just came and said, all right, you now play about, it would be all finished. You have to sit down and meditate. Oh, he has said it in Gita, you have to do it. So, one could not say that all the time if you are playing, if you are just singing songs, or if you are in a very happy mood, a mirthful mood, then it's the end of Sahaja Yoga. It is not. It's a serious matter. So, he did not give them realization, but he reduced the tension on their minds of the so-called dharma and its shackles of fanaticism, and he made it loose, and he wanted them to understand that dharma is not going to enslave. You have to rise above the dharma, become dharma itself. But Yogeshwara is to be worshipped with pure heart. In this atmosphere, it's difficult, I know. You just go out and you see a horrid thing there. You open any page of the magazine, there's another horrid thing. Anywhere you advertise me, the next page I turn, I find a discotheque nonsense going on there. I mean, what can you do? You can't just help it. And all this is on. I mean, if you look at it, how gross, dirty, filthy the whole thing. To add to problems, psychologists have come forward. They themselves are affected by their methods and everything. They are so possessed. And their sense about morality is absolutely in complete confusion. No doubt about it. You know Freud, what happened to him? He was having relations with his mother. He couldn't even understand. I mean, imagine what a adharmi he must be. Horrible, wretched fellow. He did not even have that purity to understand relationship with a mother. I mean, imagine. It is such a clear-cut background of this man shows how wrong he must have been. Because what was in him? Such filth, such dirt, that he could not even look at his mother with clear heart. Must be all mud in his eyes, or I don't know what he must be like to see things like that. You are shaking with my vibrations all day. Now, when we think of him as Yogeshwara, that means we are yogis and he is our Ishvara. Ishvara is to be praised. Dhyayati. You have to praise. You have to praise him for his quality as Yogeshwara, because he is your Ishvara. So you have to praise him. Now what praise can we give him? Today he is born. What should we do on such a great occasion when he is born? We have to decide that he is our Ishvara. He is the Ishvara aspect. And if he is our Ishvara, then we have to cleanse our attitude towards sex, towards the gross way of life that we have developed, to just shun it and throw it away. Absolutely. There cannot be compromise on that. Otherwise you cannot be a yogi. You cannot be a yogi. You may become very powerful, maybe for a time being, because I play with you. You get ideas that you are very powerful and all that. That's not true. As my name is Nirmala, as my name is purity, you have to be pure yogis. Nobody says you should not marry. Nobody says you should not have proper sex relationships with your wives. That's not true. But that is one thing people may avoid and spoil it. But the other thing, which is the most important, is your attention to be pure of sex attractions, any kind. Your attention should never go to anything like that. You see, to me, I'm now supposed to be an old lady. I don't see things which normally people see. This is something surprising. See, I see something and I don't know what's happening, and everybody laughs at me in the house. See, they don't understand that how I didn't see the point, or I don't understand these jokes, because the attention never goes into these dirty things, never goes into these things. I can't see till somebody tells me that this is this. But they have to explain 10 times. So all these sophisticated methods of nonsense and the filth and the dirt that we have accumulated here, please wash off your hands of that. That's one thing will not be tolerated in Sahaja Yoga. Every Sahaja Yogi, I must tell you. Itself, sex cannot be enjoyed if you live like this. You cannot. You don't enjoy sex at all in this country. None of them. Only in a country where people are innocent you can enjoy. If you were enjoying, you would not run from one woman to another woman. You would not run from man to woman and man to man and then to all donkeys and all those things. It is impossible that you could be a yogi with all these dirty ideas. And then you cannot mature. Even a normal person won't mature. In India, a person who is about 40 years, he becomes a matured father. You leave any girl with him, anybody with him, he will not even get into his head that there's something could exist between them. Once you are married, it should not. I've seen my two son-in-laws, they never get these ideas into their heads. So, try to put your attention into proper train, because your Ishvara is Yogeshwara. Now the other side of Shri Krishna, people do not know. It's a play, all right. But he is Samhara Shakti. He is the power of destruction. It's very good. He's there, comes with everything to protect us. But he also has got Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan. Su means auspicious. Darshan is vision. He gives us auspicious visions, you see. If you try tricks with him, that goes round your neck. And then you have auspicious darshans of yourself, that you are hanging in the air somewhere. So Shri Krishna's methods, on one side he is Leelamay, he is compassionate, he stands by his bhaktas, he comes on this earth to revive the dharma. If the dharma goes down, he comes to uplift it. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Wherever there is the decline of dharma. But dharma doesn't mean only corruption, it doesn't mean only honesty and dishonesty. Basically it means Muladhara. That is the beginning of the end. And he comes to Sasamsthapanarthaya again, to establish into the holy state. He comes on this earth to raise human beings to that level. This is what he does. So if we are Sahajogis, we are part and parcel of his being. We are instrument into his working. So we have to establish dharma. But the one who has no dharma within himself, what dharma is he going to establish anyway? We have come on this earth to establish the dharma in its holy aspect, not like Roman Catholic Church or another Pentecostal church or these Hindu religious activities or these Hindu temples or the Islamic state. But dharma in its pure state we have to establish. But if there is no dharma within us, how are we going to establish? So he comes on this earth every time to establish dharma at Vishnu level. But at Shri Krishna level, he comes as Yogeshwara. This is the point many people have not even thought of. For Vishnu, they may not say Yogeshwara. That is, he is the Ishvara of yogis. As Ganesha is the Ishvara of the Ganas. The Ganapati looks after the Ganas. And he is our Ishvara. That is, we have to have him as our ideal. With the understanding that today is the day, in the night, about 12 o'clock. Now must be about 12 o'clock in India also, about that. So it matches. He was born at this time in the night, because it was real night symbolically, under horrible circumstances, came at a time when his own birth was very dangerously placed. He was saved, and then in his very childhood he killed Rakshasas. But all this he did because he was an incarnation. Nobody is asking you to go and kill Rakshasas, is it? In Sahaja Yoga, did I ask you to go and kill some Rakshasas? On the contrary, I am just saying keep yourself protected. There was a Rakshasin who came, her name was Putana, and she wanted to put poison through her breast, and she took the child and started nursing. He was a little baby, and when he started sucking her breast, She came out in her true form and she died. Because he was, after all, he was an incarnation. Can any one of us do that? I mean, the Sahaja Yogis. Then, as a child, he was very mischievous. So he ate some clay, I think. Whether he ate it or not, his mother doubted. She got very angry. She said, "Open your mouth, I would like to say, did you eat that?" When he opened the mouth, she saw a complete universe moving in his throat because Vishuddhi Chakra. She saw, because she could see, she had power to see, she could see. Not everybody can't see that. Those who have powers can see. We don't even have the powers as much as she had to see the universe.